this, not really as a researcher, but as someone who's experienced village life. Okay, I was born and bred in a tiny little village with 3 churches, a few farms, quite like Ambridge, so I know what it's like to be on the receiving end of gossip. So don't deride me from the positive spin I'm going to put on it now. I know the So, according to John Hunt, back from UCL, there are 2 universal truths in life. First, farting is funny in all societies. And my dad said that wouldn't work. And gossip occurs in all societies, but is ostensibly always disapproved of. So during the next 15 minutes, I'm going to talk about the positive aspects of gossip and why it's an important part of life and Ambridge. We're told gossip's rude, yet there's not a single one of you in this room who hasn't taken part in gossip in some way, whether it's just listening to it, starting it, perpetuating it, or talking about the Archers. What do I... Oh, quick history of gossip. Forgot about that. I was meant to be gone because I don't have time. Look, it's been going on since the men could communicate. We've got a lovely picture of my pre-Susan heroine, Hatshepsut, having a sexual relationship on the wall of her own chamber. Greek philosophers have been philosophising and telling us how bad it is for years, and it's all through the Bible too. Moving forward, Shakespeare, who was supposedly really good at words, used gossip mostly in an old-fashioned sense and used it as a noun rather than a word or a verb. Moving forward a bit, in 1953, we can see the Archer family gossiping around the dinner table, and if we think about it, the synonyms that we use for gossip are all food related. So water cooler moments, juicy morsels of gossip, spilling the beans. And today, gossip's mostly spread by the internet and social media. What is gossip? At its best, gossip is gossip is a general interest in the doings, virtues and vices of others, and I think this is what Susan thinks of gossip. More formal, it's an informal communication device between at least 2 people about an absent third party. This means that there's a degree of secrecy involved, and it results in an alliance between the gossips at the expense of this subject. The problem arises from the fact that there's no nuance and understanding. There's no idea about the complexities behind what they're talking about. So it often comes across as being one-sided, offensive and judgmental. But what is bitter to one is sweet to another. David Rakoff has described the pleasure of gossip as being akin to schadenfreude, when your secrets are turned into someone else's pain. When your secrets are turned into gossip, your pain is turned into someone else's pleasure. This doesn't mean to say that all gossip is malicious. It might start out of concern, such as when people talk about Kirsty and her miscarriage. And whilst quotes and proverbs carry warnings about gossip, I remember with sheer delight the party line, and the first time I picked the phone up and heard the other people on our party line talking about their marriage, their boyfriend, and whatever else. And who didn't have a flicker of excitement when we all thought Pip was pregnant with Toby Cockwomble's baby? Or who turned Matt into roadkill? Gossip is the order of the day. And if it wasn't, we wouldn't be here today. So a quick word about gender so I can be kicked off. It's not just for women. Gossip tends to follow the way that women and men speak to each other in circles. So women tend to have close, intimate relationships, whereas men tend to have larger social groups. And the way we gossip also follows these patterns. So women tend to talk about family members and close friends, intimate relationships, whereas men talk about self-promotion, they talk about ciders, they talk about football and politicians and boring stuff like that. So why is it good? There are a number of reasons why gossip is good in village life, and I'm just going to go through a few of them now. Gossip gives you a sense of community and belonging. Apes spend hours picking fleas off each other. In parallel, we spend hours talking about each other. It gives us a sense of communication, bonding, it helps cement relationship, just like picking fleas off monkeys gives them. Both activities increase relationships and provide a degree of power as well, because what the gossip has is what the listener wants. And if we're honest about it, we're all just plain nosy. One of the first questions I'm always asked is how old I am, because I've got grandchildren. I don't look old enough to have grandchildren. I still haven't told anybody yet. On the flip side, if you don't take part in gossip, you're seen as an outsider and untrustworthy. If you're not included in gossip, you feel like an outsider and unwanted. Just going to go back. So, if we look at Susan, we talked last year over insecurity. Gossip helps her to feel important. If you don't feel good about yourself, you feel temporarily better when you're judging someone else negatively. She also doesn't seem to be able to generate based on ideas and knowledge. So her gossip is a way of rousing people's interest and a distraction from what she might perceive as her own boring life. She also lacks the attention, and being the gossip is the one thing that puts you at the centre of attention without you being the centre of attention. And also, rather perversely, people trust Susan. Would you tell anything really? Moving on to cultural and societal learning. We learn how a society acts through gossip and through anecdotes. So if we all remember when Anisha first visited Ambridge and Alistair was showing around, he gave her gossip and information about the villagers. And she then used this information to her own ends when she told Susan lies which she knew she would spread about later on. And you can actually, they've done some fabulous research and lots of equations on gossip networks, and you can find your way back to the gossip and then use the gossip to actually pass on information about medical and health stuff and advertising. But actually, companies have actually used this as in advertising as well. So watch out, Susan. Might be after you. Maintaining order. It's well known in anthropology studies that one of the best ways before the village bobby was to gossip and keep people on the straight and narrow. We don't need Harrison, he's just telling us bits of fluff. Now, if in Ambridge people would have listened to Christine in particular, had listened to the gossip about Matt, would she have handed over all her money? No, she'd still be rich. Is it any wonder that Ruth Archer doesn't trust Toby with her cows? We learn from this that you need to maintain the boundaries on your farm and then definitely not lie about it later, because otherwise you'll become the village scapegoat. Gossip's also important in health and safety. We've learned that quad bikes are dangerous if you go joyriding on them. Tuna bake shouldn't be eaten. And standing right behind the cow is also not good for you. We also know that if you go onto a roof with David Archer, so we can use gossip instead of practical mode. You're not going to push your children in front of a car just to show how dangerous the streets are you? We talk about it instead. But best of all, and at its most basic, gossip is about sex. It's who's sleeping with who has slept with who's going to sleep with who, and sex and power go hand in hand. Think back to when Eddie found Lillian creeping round the Dower House when she was Justin's mistress. He there, for a minute, a tiny minute, had the upper hand. He had the power, but Lillian soon squished it. And now she's got political power, now she's shagging Justin blatantly. Unfortunately, rumours aren't always heeded. If Pip had listened to the rumours about Toby, who comes with a huge reproductive health warning stamp all over him, she would have used triple contraception and wouldn't be in the mess that she's in now. Knowledge is power. And finally, I want to talk about how gossip works within the Archers itself. When you go to the community shop, you put more than just your shopping in your basket. So, for instance, condoms. What's Susan going to come up with that? Sex. And I have to say, from my own experience, that my entire village knew when my first period started. You'd also leave the shop with more because Susan's quite happy to tell you all the goings on in the village as well. So the shop is a veritable place of gossip. The Bull. The Bull's slightly different to the shop because the customers gossip between each other. And you can tell your publicans your secrets and they're expected not to pass that on. They don't dish out the dirt, just dish out the food and the drink. And they also relate stories by gossip. We only know about silent characters through gossip. Derek Fletcher apparently is a gossip. He's my favourite silent character. Way after Sean O'Connor stated in an interview that the Archers works in its 12.5-minute slot because of stories carried by gossip. It means that focus can be made on a particular family without it being boring and without stories being bitty and broken up. It can also be used to fill in the gaps of stories that might not be part of the main script. And gossip is incredibly important in imparting knowledge on the silent characters, life outside those 12.5 minutes and pre-1951, because although we didn't hear about Ambridge before then, apparently it's mentioned in the Doomsday Book. Being flies on the wall of Helen and Rob's relationship as it unfolded gave us first-hand experience of what was going on. Would the story have been so effective if we just picked it up from gossip in the Birdhide or the village shop? No, it wouldn't. But we wouldn't want that kind of intensity all the time. Gossip pervades news second-hand and it provides an emotional buffer. And for us as fans, we spend our time gossiping about the Archers, about the villagers, about the actors. We got outraged when Tom came back from growing sausages in Canada and had a different voice. And poor old Sean O'Connor came in for a weekly verbal kicking. Social media groups have sprung up where we can talk about the storylines and the people, real and imagined, not imagined. Without gossip, these groups wouldn't exist. And as I said before, we wouldn't be here. So gossip is an important part of life. It brings people together and teaches about cultural context within a specified locality. Without gossip, our beloved Archers would be quite different and we wouldn't be sitting here today at this conference. And whilst we disapprove of gossiping, our brains were designed to lap it up. So we should be delighting the fact that Susan and the others keep us gossiping long after 7:15 p.m. Did my Chinese whisper go round? No. Okay.
It came over here.
Oh, what did you think it was?
What did I think it was? Susan and spicy sausages?
It was kind of Susan and spicy
Something to do with Susan and spicy sausages. Sugar. Oh, we got Susan. No, we got Sorry.
How did you get this side?
It got as far as B.
It was very complicated, so we did shorten it anyway. So I'm going to go. That's what it was meant to say, apart from the bit about Tom at the end. We did change it though.